Welcome to the Powerlifting and Power Ballads podcast, where we bring you a weekly dose of powerlifting news, tips, and training advice with a touch of 80s rock ballads. This podcast is presented by Team Roar Powerlifting, your source of the most comprehensive coaching and meet day preparation. Here are your hosts, Josh Rohr and Laura Sturm.
Welcome to the Powerlifting Power Ballads podcast. I am one of your hosts, Laura Sturm.
And I'm Josh Rohr. Welcome to episode 87. We'll start off with a few Q&As that we had from people on Instagram. First question, I'll ask you, Laura. What was your worst meet day experience?
I had a second to think about this before we turned the mic on live. I was just like, what was my worst meet day experience? I had a few unpleasant experiences. I generally on meet day, I want to flee and I have to have somebody talk me down to staying in the room. And, there's a lot of anxiety that goes on a meet day. It's not like I'm like having a super good time. But I think the worst one was probably my last nationals, where I realized later that I was, and I know it sounds like a cop out. I was PMSing really, really bad and they didn't know it, because I thought I was past menopause. Yep, there you go. And I had a really bad meet day too, or, what I thought was really bad at the time.
Yeah.
So I wasn't used to getting second place. It was probably a good experience for me.
Yeah.
But
So in summary, we're saying, how do we summarize that? You're PMSing pretty hard, and
yeah, I should have known, like when I was flying out and I was watching Black Panther. Remember the Marvel movie Black Panther?
Yes.
Bawled my eyes out. It's not a sad movie. And that should have been like maybe something's going on with me hormonally. Maybe, I don't know. But I mean, there's nothing you can do when that's happening. I mean, yeah. You can't
except flee.
Except flee. Yeah, maybe that would have been the better choice. And I know this isn't a problem you dudes have, but it happens and you don't even realize that that's what it is when it's happening. And then later you look back and you're like, oh, I was just totally PMSing. Oh, that's crazy. But I was not having a fun day. I think you talked me down at a couple points, and I just expected a lot more of myself. I didn't do great, and it was a lackluster experience. And yeah, there you go. What was your worst meet day?
Well, I'm still on yours right now. So if I remember correctly, it was not a terrible day. I believe you went 7 for 9, missed one bench in your third dead. Is that right?
I think I missed. I went.
Missed the third squat too.
I missed my third squat too. Yeah.
Okay.
I got 2 of everything.
2 of everything.
Yep. Yeah. But that last pull, I'm always used to like making that last pull that pulls everything out of the ditch, and I was pulling for the win, and I didn't make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those things happen though. Like
it did. Happened. I just wasn't used to having it happen to me.
I'm better than that.
All right. I mean, and that's what you think too. Like when those things are happening, you're like, well, those things happen to other people. They don't happen to me.
Yeah.
Well, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes they do. I mean, I did get an American record that day, but it wasn't what I wanted. And, so, I mean, in hindsight, it really wasn't that bad. It's just, I qualified for Worlds. I went on to Worlds and, got best lifter there. So in the long run, it was pretty good, but that day was not super fun.
Yeah. Well, I think so. I'll take the blame for that, because I've helped you have too many good meets that's become the norm. And I guess we got to start, shaking things up a little bit and making sure people miss more lifts, right? Is that way it doesn't seem so bad?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know how to, I don't know how to temper that, because you're going to have off meets.
Yeah. It's true. It's just going to happen. Yeah, it's just going to happen at some point. You do this long enough, it's going to happen. But wrapping everything up, like all of the training, all the years of competing into that one meet is like, oh, I suck at this point. That's not great.
Yeah. And I still think of bombing out at bench worlds, as not as bad as that day.
Really?
But that was pretty bad too, actually. Yeah.
Interesting.
I guess because it was only Aurora, I hadn't traveled across the world. So at least that part.
Yeah, that's
That'd
true.
have been a lot worse.
Yeah. I think so. My worst meet would be 2005 Collegiate Nationals. I had won my first nationals in 2004, the year prior. I had to have a big third deadlift to pull for the win in 2004. Came in as I don't think I was the favorite coming in, but it was going to be a coin flip between me and David Hammers, who was basically my junior / collegiate rival. We've gone back and forth all over, but I ended up bombing out in the squat. So it ended up, obviously didn't go great. So I opened at 252.5 kilos and missed on. Oh no, I timed out is what happened on my opener. I think we told this story before, but basically, the guy rapping me, I didn't, I guess, coach him up well enough, and he never rapped in a meet before, and he didn't realize that he had to pay attention to the timing. So basically, they called my name as being up before I even started rapping. So I didn't make it to the platform in time, and then to add insult to injury, he accidentally went to turn in, the 252.5 and accidentally turned in 262.5 for the second attempt. And then was so nervous about missing or not having the wraps done in time, he wrapped me like 10 lifters out. So like so like I had no feeling in my knees, and by the time I got out there, walked out and basically just got crushed. So then third attempt, everything was perfect, and I just squatted high 2-1. So that was on me, because the third attempt, everything was perfect, and that's a weight I should have been able to squat. So that was the year I bombed out. So that was kind of a tough pill to swallow, because you had just won, and like you've always been the underdog. Like nobody even considered me for like top 3 in 2004, and then everybody's like, well, it's either going to be Josh or Hammers in 2006, or I'm sorry, in 2004, 2005, whatever year that was, about 2005. Then I ended up bombing out. So it would have been an epic competition, I think. And Dave Hammers ended up winning best lifter at the meet.
Insult to injury.
Yeah. But in all fairness, like I don't know that I would have won. I may have gotten second. Because it would have been close. Like I would have had to have a good day. Like I would have had to get that third squat to even have a chance, like numbers wise. So if I would have repeated and it took 3 squats, then I would have not gotten first for sure. So anyway, that was probably my worst meet. And some of that was just me not kind of me taking too many things for granted, I guess, like that the people helping knew exactly what to do without being told, without being shown what to do. And, that was kind of on me. So,
youth.
Yeah. So that was my worst meet, I think.
Yeah.
So
what was your best meet?
My best meet was the next year, 2006 Collegiate Nationals. I came back and won that year. But I got second overall in best lifter because of freaking Uncle Jeremy Hartman decided to do Collegiate Nationals that year, and he didn't lift the previous year. So I could never beat Jeremy Hartman on it was Wilkes points at that point. So I could never beat him for best lifter. But the year that I actually have a good meet, he's there and beat me anyway. So anyway, but that was my best
Jeremy Hartman.
Damn it, Jeremy Hartman. But that was probably my best meet, was 2006 Collegiate Nationals.
Awesome.
So I think I broke the American record deadlift in total in that meet, I think.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
That's awesome. And how long did that stand for?
Well, when I broke it, I think it was there for like 11 years at that. I think it was 11 years at that point. And then after I broke it, it stood until I want to say Malik Durstein broke it in 2011 or 12. So it was a few years.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right. So here's the next question from our lifters. When can we have a beardless roar back?
All right.
Why?
This is from so the guy that keeps sending the questions about the beards, his name is David Sharon, but he goes by Exxon. He was an LSU lifter. There's a picture of me somewhere on the internet, passed out drunk face down in South Africa. It was basically the first time I ever got drunk after I lifted. And he took a picture of me and put the LSU powerlifting logo on it and said, LSU powerlifting, we build champions. As a
passed
joke.
out face down.
I'm passed out face down. Anyway, he's the one that is asking all these beard questions, and I don't know why. It's weirding me out. But I'll make a deal with him, and so currently the Team Roar Instagram page has 2,905 followers. And I'm talking to you, Exxon, if you can recruit your friends and get us to 3,000 followers by the end of this month, by the end of April, I'll shave my beard.
Ooh, Josh will shave his beard for more likes.
So anybody else that wants to see me shave, I guess I have to post it. So I will shave my beard and post a picture on Instagram of a close up of my face, and there'll be no caption. So
no caption.
No caption. No nothing. So anybody listening, 3,000 followers on the Team Roar Instagram by the end of April 2022, and I'll shave my beard.
Okay.
So,
all right, make it a post.
Let's really
go.
I'm not making it a post, but it's people got to listen to the podcast. So
well, I don't think our listeners, it's a lot on two of them.
And I'll be honest, they probably don't give a shit. Like, I don't care if you shave or not. I do not care. This is a podcast.
Well,
I listen.
The next
I don't
question,
watch.
though, was Josh Rohr doesn't mind being beardless in this post, but I'm not sure which post he's talking about, but refuses to shave. When will the madness end?
So I posted. So I'll show you the picture. I posted it on Instagram. The Instagram story. It's basically a picture of you and me from way back when,
yeah.
and making awkward faces. And I wasn't even shaved there, but I had like a 5 o'clock shadow, so I was shaving at that point. Anyway, I posted that when we were soliciting questions for today, and I believe he's the one that commented that second time too. So anyway, Exxon, it's on you. I will honor the deal and shave if we get to 3,000 followers by the end of April 2022. So I'm sure he also doesn't care this much. He's just like trolling me at this point. So whatever.
Nice.
Let's move on.
All right, we're gonna move on to the
Chad.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Our top 5 movie soundtracks. We are up to number 1. So we will actually start voting next week. So you don't basically everybody can vote for their favorite list of top 5 movie soundtracks, and the winner is going to get $50 worth of Team Roar apparel. So anyway, number 1, Amber Riley has Pirates of the Caribbean. He's a pirate. The Black Pearl, Davy Jones are all absolute bangers.
Bangers.
You
said bangers.
You did.
Sorry.
What are you, 12?
That was a Chad thing to do.
Oh, that's true. You're right.
All
right.
right. Dawn Dotson had Saturday Night Fever, because yes, that's an amazing album. She says almost the entire album went gold or platinum. Great late 70s, early 80s disco music with some soft songs sprinkled in. I mean, you just can't go wrong. Peaches and Cream also makes an appearance on that album, I believe.
Yeah.
So good.
I have no idea.
Have you ever seen the movie?
Saturday
Night Fever.
I haven't. Yeah. Well, so no. Yes and no. Hope and I started watching it a couple years ago, and we never finished it because when we started it, it was on like Netflix or something like that, but then it got taken off Netflix before we finished it, like in a span of a couple of days. We started watching it because it was being taken off. So we always look for stuff that's like being taken off from Netflix or, or being taken off of Prime Video or whatever. So we try to watch them before they go away. Well, we fell asleep and didn't finish it, and then woke up the next day and it was gone. So, to this day, we still haven't finished it. What a sad story. Anyway, Justin Little, he put Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Epic battle scenes, dramatic moments, heightened fantasy experience. Harrison Gregson Williams really kicked ass with this one.
All right.
I've seen that movie, but I can't remember
to
be number one. To be number one, though, that I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that again or watch that again because I don't remember that one for the soundtrack, but I do remember it being a good movie.
I read the book. It was a long time ago. Amy Hutchison had Gone in 60 Seconds. She says it's the most underrated soundtrack of all times. Who doesn't want a soundtrack of music you'd listen to while stealing cars? True. Who doesn't? From DMX Pumping You to the moody Painted on My Heart, and finally Moby's Flower to give us an excuse to do painful squat challenges. I like that reasoning. It's all there for you. Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've seen that, so I can't even think of any of the songs in there, but I'm sure DMX is good, so I'm sure there's some good ones in there. I'll have to go back and listen. I'm gonna have to do my research before I vote on this because there's a lot of movies I've seen. I just am not recalling the music. Stacey Metcalf had Grease. At the time, while all the guys were into Star Wars, the girls were crazy over John Travolta, plus the actors both acted, sang, and danced for this movie. Yeah.
I love Grease.
Yeah.
I really do. And I thought about putting it in my list as well, but I just didn't because it was a musical.
Yeah.
And I felt like that didn't quite count. But Grease, man, I mean, how do you not love that?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yep. Amy Pancake had Dazed and Confused, which is a really good choice. I have that on my phone too, my music choice, and I didn't think about that. Foghat, Kiss, Black Sabbath, ZZ Top. There isn't a bad song in this album. Pretty true.
I'm a big ZZ Top fan. I mean, Kiss is one of my favorite bands of all time, but ZZ Top is also right up there. So that's a
Sabbath.
Yeah, and Sabbath, obviously. I mean, I say obviously, but it's like, of course, Sabbath is a good one.
Of course.
But yeah, it's a pretty
good choice, Amy.
Yeah, agreed.
Respect.
Siraj Saeed says, across the universe, the Beatles is the best. I don't know this one.
Wouldn't it be the Beatles are the best?
We're grammar checking now.
Yes.
Not only are we judging you on your creativity and logic and arguing the soundtrack, we're judging you on your grammar as well.
Yes. And I'm not familiar with the movie Across the Universe.
I wonder if that's a Beatles specific movie because he says the Beatles is the best. So maybe
must be.
Or maybe
it's Google it.
Yeah, I'll have to Google it.
Yeah, Chris Peterson had Purple Rain. I can't disagree. Bless you. Made in '84, the soundtrack showcases the music to one of the greatest artists to perform on stage or on camera. Absolutely. Yeah. I remember when that came out. I was a senior. No, it was '84. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I was in high school. Like, I remember this came out. It was amazing. Takes me back.
Cameron Barlow says Scott Pilgrim versus the World. No explanation. No idea what movie that is.
It's a good movie.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good movie. It's a funny movie. I like it. I don't remember the music at all. Jim Battenfield had Bohemian Rhapsody. One word explanation. Queen.
Yep, legit. I can't argue that one. So my number one, I had Forrest Gump. I think that is also a pretty underrated soundtrack. There's a lot of music in there, but just some of the highlights, artists that are in there: Elvis, CCR, the Beach Boys, the Doors, Jefferson Airplane, Three Dog Night, Leonard Skinner, and Bob Seger. Those are some of the top ones that kind of stood out to me. And there's some other ones that I didn't mention, but yeah.
That's a good one, because that it kind of like follows Forrest Gump through time too. So it's kind of a neat time capsule.
Hits a bunch of different decades. Kind of right. A lot of the music right around the Vietnam War is like some really classic 60s, 70s, 80s music. 60s, 70s music time frame. So it was pretty good. Nice. I like it. I give it 2 thumbs up.
That's all that matters, really. Daria had the Harry Potter series, which is a series, not an album.
I don't know, Daria.
I
don't know about that one.
She says, honestly, everyone knows the soundtrack and it carries so much nostalgia and does a great job at setting a spooky-ish vibe for the movie.
Yeah, I've never seen Harry Potter.
I don't know the soundtrack, so to say that everyone knows it.
Yeah, and to say the series though too, I think we're gonna have to flag that one as we'll flag it as
All right, my number 1 is Pink Floyd, The Wall.
That's a good one. I don't think anybody mentioned that one.
I just can't even believe it.
I know. My
mind is blown. Pink Floyd, The Wall isn't just an album, it's a movie. And it came out at the same time. So it wasn't that, it was, that's it. It was a movie. And the soundtrack came out. Although the soundtrack to the movie doesn't quite match the soundtrack on the album. There's part in one song that's a little off. The whole, do you want to take a bath? It's a little different in the movie.
I've never seen it.
You've never seen, well, and here's the thing too. I love this movie so much. And we were talking about this and I was like, nostalgia trip. I want to watch Pink Floyd, The Wall. If anyone is listening, can get me a copy of Pink Floyd, The Wall that I can listen to, I will French kiss you. Yeah.
Whoa, what the hell?
All right, maybe not. Not really.
That was really weird /
I'd be really, really happy. Josh Rohr would shave his beard. No.
Oh man, that really
no,
took
I
a
can't
turn
find
there.
a copy of Pink Floyd, The Wall. You cannot find it. Does not exist. I looked on. The only thing
you're just gonna smooth over like
I'm just gonna move on.
Like you didn't just say what you just said.
I just can't find it, and I really, really want to find a copy of that movie, and I can't find it. Like, I think you could buy it on Amazon for like $35 or something. But I want to go online and stream it somewhere. Doesn't exist.
That's interesting.
Doesn't exist. So back in the 80s, we used to sneak into a movie theater with all our beers stuffed in our jacket pockets and watch Pink Floyd, The Wall. It was showing like every Friday and Saturday night at midnight. And we'd go in there and watch Pink Floyd, The Wall every single damn weekend and roll our beer empties down the aisle. Such a juvenile delinquent thing to do. But man, it was good times. And that album, that music is so good.
Yeah.
You have to listen to it in order though.
In order. So the soundtrack in order?
In order. Yeah, you have to listen to the soundtrack.
Is the soundtrack in order of the songs appearing in the movie?
Yes.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
So it builds and it kind of tells the story. And if you're following along with the movie, it's just epic. And a lot of those songs, went into, we Don't Need No Education, Comfortably Numb. There's a lot of like big hit Pink Floyd songs on that album.
Yeah.
Great album.
Yeah. Cool. Sounds good. So if anybody has it, let us know.
And Josh Rohr would say shave his beard.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, powerlifting situation, Laura. This one's you this time.
All right.
Nationals are in 10 weeks. Before you can sign up, you get a call from your sister. There's a family reunion on the same day you would lift at nationals. The city and state where the family reunion is being held has a local meet the day after. Many of your family have never seen you compete. Do you do nationals or do you do the local meet after the family reunion?
It would depend. So am I doing nationals for placement at Worlds?
Yes.
Not anymore, right?
Oh, okay. Not anymore. Yes,
Yeah.
that's true. That's a good
So
point.
yeah. So with the current state of affairs, I'm doing nationals to go to the Arnold,
Correct.
I guess,
And
right?
you can't get to the Arnold without
Without going to nationals.
without going to nationals.
So if my goal is to get to the Arnold, then I'd have to stay the course with nationals. But if I felt like, I'll just do the Arnold another year or something like that, then I'd be like, well, that'd be really cool to have the family reunion and have my family see me. That would be pretty cool. So I guess it would depend on what my goals are for that meet.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I'd say Josh 10 years ago would go to nationals no matter what. Josh today would probably do the local meet and let family watch and go to the reunion.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Yep.
There you go. Because family's important.
True
story. So new lifter tip. Here it is. We're so polished. Have your warm-up attempts written out before you start warming up. Discuss them with your handler and coach ahead of time, and this will allow for near perfect timing of your warm-ups and significantly make it less stressful and a better warm-up experience, and it doesn't need to feel rushed. Agree or disagree?
Agree.
And I guess based on your worst meet experience, you should also coach the person who's handling you if they've never handled anyone before.
Yep.
Knees.
I feel like there are so many mistakes that we are talking about that we've made that so many people could learn from if they actually just like listen to what we're saying. Like all you got to do is just don't be stupid like I was. Like don't do some of the dumb stuff we did. Like you'd be so much better off.
Well, and I was thinking about that, how we hadn't wrapped your knees until the first attempt. So did you always go unwrapped up until your first attempt?
No, so he wrapped me in training, but he's never wrapped me in a meet was the issue.
Oh.
So okay. Getting the timing of everything was not his thing.
Right. So warm-ups were even okay. Warm-up wraps were okay, but the timing, and it is tricky. Boy, that makes me so nervous.
And I did all the timing, and that's the thing. I did all the timing in the warm-ups because I'm like, well, I don't need to focus. Like, I don't need to be in my own world right now. I can kind of, keep track of everything. And then when we get out there, you run the show. He's like, all right, I got you. And then I guess he was just expecting me to say, hey, start rapping me. But I'm just like jamming away on my headphones. And then all of a sudden everybody's looking at me pointing, hey, the bar's loaded for you. I'm like, what?
Oh, that's such a bad feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the stupid part of it is like, again, this is the year after I won my first national. So like the expectation around that is like, you should know what the hell you're doing at that point. And it didn't happen. So
yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Maybe we should have a mashup of all of our new lifter tips.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of them that I think I'd say about a third of them are a result of like mistakes I've made or have seen made over the years. So,
yeah.
Crazy. Cool.
Live, you learn. There you go.
Live, you learn. All right. Well, let's wrap it up. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at PL Ballads Podcast, and also follow the Team Roar Instagram. We post a lot of our tips, things like that on there as well. If you are interested in getting coaching, we do offer one-on-one customized programming. We also have one-on-one and small group virtual coaching if you're not in the Atlanta area. If you are in the Atlanta area, come see us in Duluth at Quest Gym. In the meantime, we will start our voting next week for the top 5 movie soundtrack list, see who you think is the best list. We'll get the voting going, all that good stuff. Until next time, later.
I know.
Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed today's episode of the Powerlifting and Power Ballads podcast, please remember to subscribe and share it with your friends.